Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 1109, our solve count. I've got no idea where we were last. I know we've been redoing various sections. Oh, we were in Loopy, were we? 2 more to go gold. I can do 2 more, can't I? Even if I'm very slow about it. What are you working with? A 4? Okay, all regions must be the same shape. Okay, well, let's start with what I know. That one has to take this. That has to take that, right? So all regions must have the same shape. We've got this L and this short L. So that can't exist. They must take that. That can't be different to those, so that must take that. Over here, that must take that. That can't do that, so that must get out. We have 2 things of 3. This cannot do that, therefore this has to come out and be a 3-1, or 3 long, 2 across, however you describe that in L. This can't do this, so this has to come out, and then we have to figure out how these 2 are going to culminate in the shape being the same. Then I will worry about all the other ones. So, well, that can't exist. Put that over there. This must get out. In fact, I'm going to do all these edges and see if we can kind of learn something about all the sides of the potential shape that we're building. Because all regions must have the same shape. So this could exist like that. So that doesn't help me. That one to there, please. What else do we know? We know that one's there. Okay, this line can't exist, so that has to go up. Can you imagine if it was just 2 shapes split by this line? I don't think that's going to happen here. But it would be really cheeky if they did. They just built like a level that was symmetrical. And it was just 2 shapes. So this is the biggest thing that we have that we know. That could do that. Okay. I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. And I'm okay with it. So it's 3 with 1 in the center and 1 off the end. So that'll be that. That'll be that. That'll be that. One of those. That's going to have one of those. Alright, now it's just like a bit of a colouring in exercise. Okay, not that way. So that way. We just have to make sure all of our points are 4x4 edges, basically. If that's 2, is it that way? No. If that has to come out. That has to come out. That has to come out. Can I do both this way? Now I'm confused. That would be that. But this can't match the... Oh, it would be that. Nearly biffed it. Not too bad. This guy was really our in to all of that. But I will take it. 45 of 46. What are we working with here? Loopy, mismatch area number. I don't love it, but we'll try because it's only a 4. Just stick my phone on charge first. Okay. These don't have to be the same 3, but they can be. Except they can't because we can't do this and we can't have 2 of those. So start with what we know, especially on Loopy when I'm terrified. There's what we know to be true. So. Do all of these corners, they either have to follow the whole corner or they have to have both sides as lines. That's too many for the 6. That's too many for the 8. I don't know why this feels so good to me. That would then have to do this. Now, before I go off on that brain tangent, let's sort out these 3s, because what we do know is that if this isn't a 3, because that would have to exist there, we know what the 2 3s are, being 3 in a row and an offset 3. So, if these are both going to have this occur, then one of them is the straight 3, and one of them is the crooked 3. And that might be the only way we can do that without impending big problems. So with those done, that can't exist, that has to come out. That line can't exist, has to come out again, has to come out again. We've got a 1 now, which is fine. That feels pretty good to me. Big shapes, things that aren't competing for lots of the mismatch space. It really just gives us a good in for the 2 3s, I think. So, over this side. Okay. This can't exist because it already exists over there. So I'm suspecting... Oh, no. Gross. Oh, I do not like that. I guess these two 5s aren't going to be part of the same region then. Is my big guess. So I've got a 1 and a T shape, so I can't even do something like this. So what options are available to me? Okay. That works. And then that works. That has to take a line up. That's a cross. That's a cross. That has to be a cross. Those have to take points on this line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then how do I do this 6? It's a fantastic question. That all has to exist. I can't have 2 4-liners. I can't have another single one. There it is. Not too bad. And it's gold. It's not gemmed yet, and that's fine. But it's gold, and that's nice. There's 12 more of these. I think it might be time to let my brain percolate in some other spaces. Precision 26. Forget that. Alright, let's go check our progress board. 15 silver, 18 gold of 20. Wait. No, this is perfected windows. Not 15 silver windows, 18 gold windows. I didn't think that math wasn't mathing. 18 perfected windows. So our only non-golds are the Spiral Island just across from us and the Secluded Garden, which is this and this. This is just a hellhole. We managed to do one puzzle here just to get something started on the window. So what else remains? There's the 1 in roses. There's the 2 in match. Those I'm very aware of. There's 6 more in solitude. 17 in bricky. 12 in loopy. 9 in difference. 2 in watchtower. I can't believe I got so much watchtower done, honestly. And 5 in compass. Alright, where was solitude again? How much time did I give solitude? Probably past all this, hasn't it? Inequality, bricky, loopy, difference, watchtower, edge maze. This is compass. Where's solitude? Mismatch. Oh, is it you hiding down there? Okay, what do we have around here? I feel like I've not been here in a good long while. 6, 5, 5. 6, 3, 7. Well, show me this 3 then. Each symbol gets exactly 1, or each shape gets exactly 1 symbol. All regions are different shapes. So, here is the 1. Please hold your applause. This is either a straight or a curved. And that's kind of all we've got. Well, we do have all of this. So this guy must take this, and then his last one is ambiguous to one of these, which means this might take this, but it's definitely taking this and this, and then that is ambiguous to one of those. That means this is definitely taking this and this, and then is ambiguous to one of these. And once we learn that this doesn't have enough room to get out of here. So that's going to take that, that's going to take that. This is going to still be ambiguous to top or side. All regions have to be different shapes though. We've used this 2x2. So what shape is this going to make? TL hook. Can't have two hooks. Well, if that did that, that did that, that did that. What do we have left? This can't do this, because it matches this. Therefore, I suspect that's the L, that's the straight. That definitely can't be the hook, though. Hold on. You can't get to here. Wait, how have I biffed this? So you're taking either... Let me redo this in my head. You have these two. You're either doing this, or this, or this. Which leaves those ambiguous. Which means this is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 or 4. Which means this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 or 4. If this is true, this can't get out. So this has to get out to here. It's taking either this or this. Which means you're taking the 2x2, you're taking the Z. Then that means... Oh, this has to be the straight. There you go. I don't know why I didn't think this could not be straight. To challenge my biases, my assumptions. Alright, that was a nice one. I feel like I just haven't come over here very much because I haven't seen this window hiding down here. 5 more. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. Alright, give me one of the 5s then. Solitude. Mingle Shape. Neighbouring regions must have different shapes. Area number for a lot of 3s. And a single wafer-thin palisade. Okay, so Solitude means... Excuse me. That must do that, that must do that, that must do that. That must do this. Which means that must be a straight 3. That must also be a straight 3 because Mingle Shape can't have those two touching. Which means... What? This one has to be a hook 3. This one has to be a straight 3. This one has to be a hook 3. If this is a hook, and it did that, that would have to do that. That would have to do that and that, which it can't, because we can't have neighbouring shapes be the same. Except, could it be... Oh no, we can't have a piece without a symbol. Okay. Oh, well. That means those must exist. That must come out. It might be humongous. It might do, like, a bunch of this. But it must come out. Actually, that's going to be the case, because it's... Solitude, every tile in play must be a part of one of their zones. So it's just draw all the 3s in, and then all the negative space becomes this Solitude filling that space. Or this palisade. So that's definitely going to come out here. If that's that and that's that, that can't be another straight one. So that is going to belong to that. Then that's going to be straight. That's an L. But it can't go this way, so this has to get out to here, so that's going to go there and be ambiguous to these. That just seems to make a lot of sense to take up room in the corner. You hypothesized? So this can't do this and leave that alone. So if I just steal some of that blue, this blue's got to get out. That means you've got to come out to here and be ambiguous. In fact, make those guys purple. Well, that means this has got to get out. This has got to be purple. That's all got to be purple. The purple's got to get through here somehow. Have I made one assumption too many along here? I fear. So I've got to get the purple to squeeze through here somehow without blocking off this section. Oh, how far back do I think I have to go? It's the real question, isn't it? Well, hold on. There's no reason that couldn't be that way. Or even... slightly different than I am perceiving it. Part of me is wondering if I should check progress for the top half here, but I know that I got lazy somewhere moments ago and started colouring, and now I regret it deeply. Oh, here's a gross question. Why does this hook or straight end up different than this hook or straight for a unique solution? That's very unpleasant, which means that something is going to have to touch one of these. Oh, these two can't touch. Hello? Ha ha ha! Well, the little insight to non-unique solution made me think about what comes out to the left, and then we got there, which is very nice. And if I had have checked progress on everything above this line, I would have been correct, which is nice, but nice to get to the solution without checking progress. Always happy about those. 5, 6, was it 6, 6, 7? Yeah, so where's the other 5? Solitude Palisade area number. So this whole puzzle is exactly 2 shapes, which I feel like I have memory of doing this at some point in the past, or trying to. And it basically comes out to, how does this guy get out without touching both sides of a wall or making negative space? Because here's the problem. All these other bits of wall can't be both of the opposing color. So it's not just about drawing this to 15. It's about drawing it in a way that touches every wall once. But I also have to build whatever the piece this guy is going to touch, which is really funky. Because how can I touch all of these more efficiently than I already am? You know? This is 15. That's such an intriguing puzzle. Let me just think about this guy for a second. So if this line exists, then this happens. That has to be the other color. And I simply do not have the breadth to bring this down to here like that and deal with the rest. Also, it can't do that because if this were true, then this piece touches the top of the board, this piece touches the bottom of the board, and so if I do this, I end up with a different color on both sides of the wall, and I'd have to only remedy that by doing this, and I'm never going to solve the puzzle that way. So this wall is not where it gets its line. Now, I suspect this is also not going to be where it gets its line, because by the time I do this, that's 13. Even if we try and do it more carefully, it's just not going to work out, I think. So this is also not the side with the line. If this were the side with the line, that would all be true. And then this 15... How do I touch this without going over? It feels like these 2 cells aren't doing very much because they don't touch something that is beneficial to me. Yeah, I'm just 1 over. And I don't know what one I can cut. Oh, there's this guy down here. It's one of those where I'm not sure where the logic's going to hit to get a solve out of me on this. Right, that is 15. But I leave this island here, which is no good. So what can I do about that? Is this it? No, because this can't have both of its colors on that side. I need one more again. That's one too many. Well, perhaps then this means that the wall has to be this other side, because this then puts a color that is on both sides of this wall and this wall in a single tile. So maybe that helps me somehow. No, that feels worse because this can't be on this side and that side of that. But I do not have the spare tiles to reach upwards. Yeah, so what I'm learning out of this on this hook here is this has to be color A. These both have to be color B. And if the wall is here, then that has to do that and that. Or, yeah, because it can't go around and leave an island of A. But there's no way that this can reach the 15 and get this out to everything else. So I think this is our wall edge. Which makes sense because then this can be that. This would have to be an A. But that does this line and that line. That has to be B. But it's always one too large. Unless... do we have it? Am I missing one? Hey! Alright, well... we puzzled out the bits that we could puzzle out and just worked nicely on the bits that remained, and I will take it. What a solid half hour we have shared. 3 more to do for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.